Alright guys, I'm back with another video. We're gonna make this a quick one, okay? We're gonna use Meteor Dragoon 770 gear flat for this one. I want to teach the laws of the left spin. A lot of people do not understand. You just got to do a little bit of research, and then you will learn how equalization actually works. Equalization goes both ways, right? And the way how it works is the slower spinning Beyblade gets the benefit from equalization, kind of, because there's a way how you could use this knowledge and be able to manipulate your opponent's speed and spin. For example, something like a ball bit, because it's a ball bit, doesn't have great stand up, and it's most likely gonna stay around the center of the field, right? There's no need to do a complete full-on full power launch with your left spinning Beyblade. If it's made to equalize. So I'm gonna launch this. I'm gonna give it a nice regular launch. Then we're gonna come in with a little light launch. Now you guys saw how light I pulled it. I almost couldn't even handle that first recoil, that first crazy recoil from Wizard Rod. But it just slowly sucked away its spin. You guys saw it barely had any spin, but as you saw, every hit got a little spin, got a little momentum, came back, boom. Came back, boom. You know what I'm saying? So what was going on was a rapid, I call it a rapid spin transfer, okay? So because we barely gave him any power, he had obviously less RPMs, less spin. It would literally started taking the spin away from, not taking the spin, rather equalizing. So rapidly making the speed at which Wizard Rod was spinning equalize to the speed at which they're spinning, or they meet at somewhere in the middle, which essentially messes up with the stability and the spin force. So now I'm gonna launch it. I'm gonna do a hard launch. See if we could speed them up, you know? But from a hard launch, so we're gonna do it in reverse. We might knock out Wizard Rod. We're not trying to. We're just trying to show you guys what it looks like when you launch harder than your opponent, and your opponent absorbs all of the spin. So, I don't know if you guys seen that big hit. It might have just looked like, oh, Wizard Rod hit a counter attack. No. All the energy and force at which this was spinning literally hit Wizard Rod and made Wizard Rod speed up, kind of go out of control, hit the X rail. And you guys saw how it ended. Obviously, this build still won. The way how I have it built, it's going to win those. But as you saw, I was able to make this Beyblade spin out of control because I sped up its spin. So I said you don't need to do that against the people with ball bits, needle bits, anything that doesn't have great stand up. You don't have to do that. Things like Hexa, though, this is where you just rip as hard as you can, because what you want to do is you want to just bully Wizard Rod, knock out as much spin force and stability as you can, and then try and go for the spin finish. So I'm gonna try and show you guys that. See, and we win that by a minor rotation. Now, let's see what happens when I light launch, just like I did in the first round versus Wizard Rod. So, Wizard Rod wins that one. Wizard Rod on Hexa wins that one. And why is that? It's because Hexa has such great stand-up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to try and brutalize anything on Hexa early on in the middle of the match where its stability is already compromised. You know? So that's different. So it's not like when you're using left spins, it's a strategic game. It's more of a strategic game. It's not just going there, let it rip as hard as you can. No, I like to say, okay. So this was back when we were going up against the Wizard Rod free ball meta, the strong stamina. I would always tell myself, okay, against Wizard Rod, because he's on ball, we do a medium launch, maybe like 50%, 40 to 50% launch, right? Just because I would actually say if you're against something like ball, give it like 60%, just because ball is kind of evasive and it kind of has sometimes when you hit it and the Beyblade start tilting, it start going like this. It starts having a little circular motion around the inner circle of the stadium. So that's why you would want the extra juice. But say you have something like needle. So say I had something like Samurai Saber on high needle where I know it's just going to sit here. I could light launch because I know, guess what? I don't have a lot of power. So obviously we're just going to fade into the middle. Suck away all of this stamina. And I'm actually going to show that right here. All right, Samurai Saber got us, but I'm gonna do it again. But Samurai Saber is actually a good Beyblade to put up against left spins because it's so even. See, you're able to just go in there with no power and just suck away the stamina from your opponent. Pause. But that's what I'm saying. Something against, so you could literally just light launch against something like that. Obviously, you want to get a little bit of juice so it's able to withstand those early game recoils. But versus something like Wizard Rod on ball or some shit, right? You give it a nice 50%, 60% launch and just let the equalization do its work. The only time you really want to full on 100% just go crazy with the launch is if it's AVA, you know? Because they're about to rip as hard as possibly can if it's AVA, and you have to be able to withstand those hits. So you just have to be able to match with aggression and just hope that whatever bit you on has better stand up than whatever bit they are on for the end game. That's simply the laws of, you know, that's the laws. That's physics. You know what I'm saying? Laws of the left spin made by me. We'll do one more little showing with what you call it, Silver Wolf here. All right, launch him. Light launch. Here we go. We literally take our opponent's stamina and use it against them. Use it against them. And that's the neat thing. That's the neat thing about these left spin Beyblades, man. They're way more versatile. Almost where, like, if you're going against a stamina Beyblade, I mean a right spin Beyblade, stamina does not necessarily matter, because at the end of the day, they're all going to equalize. The only time stamina necessarily matters is a left spin versus left spin matchup. So what I'm saying is, you learn these little tips and tricks on how to use the left spin, guys, your left spin experience will be way better. And granted, all right, I got him on gear flat, right? For all the level users, I know you guys love this build right here, but something I notice is, versus heavy aggressive Beyblades like Shark Scale or Hover Wyvern, Beyblades that really have that power, you know, level just gets beat up. And this is why I think it's very important for people to really experiment themselves. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I'm not going to use Hover Wyvern, because Hover Wyvern is a hard matchup for Meteor Dragoon anyways. So we'll use Shark Scale just to show you what I mean. You see how it just gets juggled? It can't even get its power down. That's my issue with this level build. When the power gets down, yes, it's perfect. I won't lie to you. But when it can't get its power down, see what I mean? Level's good, but it's iffy. Real quick, I'll showcase level versus Wizard Rod on ball. We'll go light launch. Now level is actually good for equalizing. But that's my issue right there. It could just get juggled. Like against calm things like Wizard Rod on ball, you know, it'll do its job. But against aggressive things, it barely lasts till end game. But if it does, it works. I'll say that. Beautiful. That was a beautiful spin transfer in the beginning of the match. But yeah, outspin. It doesn't even, it gets outspin more than it gains ties with Wizard Rod on Hexa. So it just doesn't even. Here, we're gonna give it some sauce before I give my verdict. Give it some sauce. Give it some sauce, eh? That's what I'm saying, man. Level's too unpredictable. Gear flat, flat, low rush. I know what it's gonna do. It does get that win. It does get that win. See? I know what I'm talking about. But, granted, I do feel like our Meteor Dragoon, a more aggressive bit, is better than level, just so you keep that aggression. And because, let's see if I could get a commander win over Wizard on Hexa before I let you guys go. Because this build is better. We get a tie, but you saw that crazy energy transfer in the beginning. So yeah, left spins just take way more practice than right spin. It's not really plug and play unless it's Cobalt Dragoon on Elevate. That's the only real Beyblade that's plug and play. But yeah, like I said, needle, you could literally zombie launch, 25%, 30% launch power. Wedge, you could 30% launch power. Things of like ball and free ball, things of that nature. You want 50 to 60% power just because they move around the stadium a little more than other Beyblades. Things like, I would say, like wall ball or wall wedge now, they have better stand-up. So you kind of want to abuse them a little bit. So I would say things of that nature, that would fall in the Hexa AVA nature. That's when you want to rip as hard as you can. But even then, I'm not even ripping 100%. I would say you're ripping more closer to 80 to 90%. You never really want to rip 100% if you want to equalize at least. But leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you guys, agree with me. If you guys have any more tips to share with the community, leave it in the comments. We'll be grateful for it. I'm out of here.